Hi everybody, it's Christina from Adventures in Polish Land and welcome back to another Friday Read. Sorry if you can hear pans in the background. The kitchen is being cleaned up after dinner, so I apologize for that. But I am excited that we have reached the end of the week. I am ready for a weekend. You ever have one of those weeks where you've just had enough of corporate America? Because that's where I'm at right now. But I did read a good book. It was Better Luck Next Time. This is by Julia Claiborne Johnson. This one takes place in Reno, Nevada in the 1930s, where women could go, live there for 6 weeks, become a legal resident of Nevada, and then unilaterally divorce their husband. So really interesting thing to learn about. I didn't know about this beforehand, and the story is told from an older man looking backwards on this time in his life because he used to work at that ranch. So the writing style is a little bit too conversational for me. It feels a little bit watered down. But that being said, I overall enjoyed the storyline. I really liked how everything wrapped up in the end, and I appreciated learning about this time in history. I would definitely recommend this if you like historical fiction novels. I think it would be a great book to take on vacation because it's not too heavy of a read and it reads pretty quickly. I gave it 3.5 stars and I'm glad I read it. Not something that I would have picked up otherwise if it weren't for the American Lit Reading Challenge. Now I am reading A Lesson Before Dying by Ernest J. Gaines. I just started this yesterday. This one is set in Louisiana in the 1940s, and this is a pretty tough read in terms of its subject matter because a young black man is being sentenced to death for a crime he did not commit. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now we are reading from the perspective of another young man. I'm not sure how they are related or if they have a blood relation or if their families are just really close, but he is a professor or a teacher at a local school, and the young man who is being sentenced to death, his mother wants him to be taught lessons before he dies so that he can die a man. I'm only 60 pages in, but I'm already pretty heartbroken by this story. The entire subtext of the novel is really getting to me, and I read Kindred by Octavia E. Butler earlier this year, and I am drawing some connections, which is really devastating and hard to read, but I think very important. And I am looking forward to finishing this and learning more from this story because I'm sure it's going to give me a lot to think about, and I really appreciate that from my literature and the books that I read. This one I hope to finish this weekend. It is a shorter book. I'm about 60 pages in, and it is just over 250 pages, so definitely a chance I could get that finished this weekend. I also have to go to the library this weekend to return the books that I have finished and also to pick up a couple. I posted my May TBR on Monday of this week. That's the only other video I got up, but I will link it for you if you're interested. I talked about where I'm at in the American Lit Reading Challenge, and I picked 4 new books to read for May. I still have 1 book from my April TBR, so I will either read that directly after A Lesson Before Dying, or I might move into my May TBR because I do own the other book, which is A Call of the Wild. It's over on my bookshelf, but I do own that one, so I'm not in a rush to read it. I always like to prioritize library books first. Those are all of my updates for the week. Before I go, I thought I would ask you how you're feeling with your reading at this point in the year. I feel like my Instagram feed right now is full of anti-AI videos, which is great because I am certainly anti-AI, and I was watching the Books Unbound podcast that came out earlier this week, and I will leave it linked below because at the end they talk about a book whose publication was canceled here in the United States because it turns out that the book was partially edited by AI, which is a huge no-no in the publishing industry, obviously. And I've just been at a point where I am getting really concerned about all of the AI that's being used in so many of our daily lives, even if we want to opt out. I'm the type of person that I try to disable any AI feature that comes up on an app or a program, even on my work computer. Some of my colleagues can't believe that I've disabled all of the AI features. Hopefully I continue to get away with that. But I am just feeling like an overload lately of how everything is being shoved in our faces, and I'm getting concerned about what it's doing to our brains. So I think I am going to be focusing a lot more in the coming weeks and months, and hopefully make it a new lifestyle change to get off the doom scrolling apps and get back in my books, because this year I'm not reading as much as I did last year. And it's pretty disappointing for me, to be honest, because even though I want to focus on quality over quantity all the time, I also want to be spending more time reading because I think it is so good for us. And I think it's also very enjoyable, obviously. It's a great way to spend your time. You're always learning new things, becoming a more empathetic person, and escaping as well into a fictional world. So, I am just putting it out there that if you're someone who is also struggling with all of the AI nonsense that's being shoved in our faces right now, I am going to try to take a step back from the internet and focus more on books rather than scrolling. I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? Do you find yourself exhausted by the internet lately? Is it something that you enjoy? Do you participate? Also, let me know in the comments what book you are currently reading because I would love to know. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.